Have you ever held on to something so tightly, maybe a grudge, a painful memory, or even regret that it felt impossible to move forward? Imagine carrying a heavy backpack everywhere you go, filled with stones representing every hurt, every disappointment, and every unresolved conflict you've ever experienced. Over time, it weighs you down, slows your steps, and drains your energy. But what if you could finally set that backpack down and walk freely again? Today, we're diving deep into the powerful, transformative art of letting go through real stories of forgiveness and healing that might just inspire you to release what's been holding you back. Let me share a story about Sarah. Sarah had a best friend named Emma, someone she trusted completely. They shared everything: secrets, dreams, fears. But one day, Emma betrayed Sarah's trust by revealing something deeply personal to others. Sarah felt devastated, angry, and deeply hurt. For months, she carried this betrayal in her heart, replaying the pain over and over, refusing to forgive or forget. It affected her relationships, her happiness, and even her health. One evening, Sarah stumbled upon a quote that said, "Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die." That simple sentence struck her profoundly. She realized that her bitterness wasn't punishing Emma, it was punishing herself. Slowly, Sarah began the challenging but rewarding process of forgiveness. She chose to let go, not to excuse what happened, but to free herself from the heavy burden she'd been carrying. And as she did, she felt lighter, happier, and finally at peace. Sarah's story isn't unique in fact, it's universal. We've all faced moments when letting go feels impossible, yet holding on only prolongs our pain. But why is letting go so difficult? Why do we cling to hurts that no longer serve us? Psychologists suggest it's because forgiveness often feels like we're excusing or minimizing the wrong done to us. But here's the truth. Forgiveness isn't about excusing harmful actions or pretending they never happened. It's about reclaiming your emotional freedom and choosing peace over pain. It's about recognizing that you deserve to move forward without the weight of resentment pulling you back. Consider another inspiring example: Nelson Mandela. Mandela spent 27 years imprisoned unjustly, yet upon his release, he chose forgiveness over revenge. When asked how he could forgive those who imprisoned him, Mandela famously replied, "Resentment is like drinking poison, and then hoping it will kill your enemies." Mandela understood that forgiveness wasn't weakness, it was strength. By letting go, he not only healed himself but also inspired an entire nation to pursue unity and reconciliation. So, how can we practice this powerful art of letting go in our own lives? First, acknowledge your feelings. Recognize and validate your hurt, anger, or sadness. Ignoring emotions won't make them disappear, it only buries them deeper. Next, try reframing the situation. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I grow stronger or wiser? By shifting your mindset from victimhood to empowerment, you reclaim control over your narrative. Another helpful practice is empathy. Try seeing the situation from the other person's perspective, not to justify their actions, but to understand their humanity. Often, people hurt others because they're hurting themselves. Understanding this can soften our hearts and make forgiveness a little easier. Remember, forgiveness doesn't necessarily mean reconciliation or maintaining a relationship. Sometimes, the healthiest decision is to forgive and still move on separately. Finally, embrace patience. Forgiveness and healing are journeys, not instant solutions. Some days, it'll feel easy, and other days, nearly impossible, and that's okay. What matters most is your willingness to keep moving forward, step by step, toward emotional freedom. Imagine again that heavy backpack filled with stones. Each act of forgiveness, each moment of letting go, removes one stone from your pack. Gradually, your load becomes lighter, your steps become easier, and your heart feels freer. You're no longer defined by past hurts, you're empowered by your ability to heal, forgive, and move forward. So, ask yourself today, what heavy burden am I ready to set down? Who or what am I ready to forgive, not for their sake, but for mine? Remember, The art of letting go isn't about losing something, it's about gaining everything: peace, freedom, and the joy of living fully again. If Sarah and Mandela could find the strength to forgive and heal, so can you. Your story is still unfolding, and the next chapter could be your most liberating yet. Let go, breathe deeply, and step forward into the life you truly deserve.